Hello everyone, I'm back. Sorry about that, I had a few technical issues with the stream. I've had to restart it. Hopefully you have managed to find me again. If not, sorry. You can't hear me anyway, so fair enough. Anyway, my plan is to continue with this painting. I'm just going to get the first level of colour down, so get the sort of whitish hair horn things. Start at the top, just go downwards. It gets quite dark over here. Oh, I've missed a bit. That's alright. And I'm not going to really add detail, I'm just going to really quickly go over it, to be honest. So these are the colours that I plan to use. Not sure you can see that. So I'll start off with the cobalt blue. There's quite nice cobalt blue around this sort of area of the horns. The nose is quite bluey as well, and the general skin is quite bluey. I'm going to use a lot of Payne's Grey. It's a brand new pot. Let me just check if it's actually open. This is. I think there's a bit of burnt sienna there. There might be a bit of orange as well, so I might end up using a bit of vermilion, but might be a bit excessive. I think there's burnt umber, sort of around this areas. Flesh tint's always a go-to, and obviously some greys. So, I'm going to start off with the horns, as I say. And I think the main colour for the horns is probably going to be this burnt sienna. So I'm just going to whack that up there. It's going to be mixed in with a bit of flesh tint. And I'll need to put a bit of white on as well. Use an awful lot of white when you paint. Well, when I paint anyway. I do think there's a bluey tint up there, so I'm going to whack a bit of blue on. This cobalt blue. I have cerulean blue as well. Cerulean, sorry. As I say, this is just a really rough sort of start. Right, I'm going to use not a massive brush, but not a small brush. I think I'm going to use this brush, which is a number 6 Faber-Castell. Still got that issue with the music where it's just not playing, so randomly selecting tracks. Right, let's get going. So I'm trying to sort of replicate colour at the top of the horn a little bit, I guess. Get some blue in there. And it's going to just look like this as I paint through. Obviously this isn't the detail there. I'll do the detail right at the end, I always do. It's just to get a rough base colour down so I have a basis to work on. Something that's a fairly accurate colour. I'm going to grade it down a little bit as I go. So a bit darker and then towards the centre. being fairly careful with the colours here, with the actual painting here, so it's creates a smooth outline, because there's nothing worse than having to repaint the background against the So I hope you can see that. Oh, I just realised I'm in the wrong screen. Sorry about that. There you go. Just trying to create a nice sort of uniform horn. Obviously there's going to be a lot more I guess detail. I'm going to actually use a bit of yellow ochre here. Oh, I've lost it. There we go. And that's for the underneath, because it's quite yellowy underneath the horn. So I'm going to mix it in with a little bit of the brown, just to sort of infer the colour. But this bit is very sort of yellow ochre-y. There's a clear sort of joining mark, which is actually quite dark. I'll paint that in later with a bit of Payne's grey. Thanks for letting me know the music's too loud. Let me know if it's still a bit loud. So I've got the sort of left hand or the right hand horn, depending which way you look at it. It's pretty much done. I'm going to add I'm going to sort of tone it into a bit lighter up here.
just wanna see your shadow next to mine, sailing over pavement with our two weapons. I like to see the shape you're in from time to time. I just wanna see your shadow next to mine.
Sort of blending in this this horn, just to make it sort of look quite... It's not true to the colours, but I'm not necessarily going for true to the colours. I'll add the detail in later and eventually it'll start looking fairly like the colours. There's certain dark bits, like up here, it's quite dark. But let's just add a bit of raw umber. Is it raw umber or burnt sienna? Burnt sienna I've used. I'll add the texture in later. That's cool. That works quite well. Just quickly wash my brush, dry it. I'm going to highlight it. I usually do the highlights at the end, but I'm going to highlight it right now with a bit of white. Just to show where the highlights are going to go. And I'll do the shadows in a bit as well.
I just wanna go out on a walk with you. Could be 20 minutes or an hour or two. Baby, you know I just like to talk with you.
Nice highlight around here, I think.
Go out on a walk with you. Baby, you know I just like to talk.
That works quite well. Right, now I'll do the other one. The other one's a lot darker actually. So what I might do, I might add that bit of Payne's Grey on the palette right now. Just use it to shade down what I was doing over here. Still the same colour and just shading it down a bit with the Payne's Grey. Actually, it's pretty dark over here. That's a bit too dark, but I'll just paint over it. It's fine. I'll have to paint over that, I think, when it's dry, to be honest. Gone a bit too dark there, haven't I? Bit lighter up here. I'll do that. I'll redo these leaves in a bit. If I bother, if I think it's necessary. Blending that in so it looks alright. And then suddenly it gets really quite light, so I'm going to use a lot of white. Blend it in. finish it off with this bit up here. So I'm not going for detail right now, I'll go for detail later on. So it's the top bit of the whatever you call it, the horn. Probably join these up and make them the same sort of colour. That's cool. Quite like the way that looks right now. Gonna add a few highlights in. Why not? There's actually a little bit of blue at the top as well, so I'm just gonna put a blue sort of semi-wash over the top right now, just so I get that blue colour. Blue's quite important in painting, even though it doesn't look like it exists. Actually, it's there quite a lot because of the sky. It's really, it brings the eye. So you probably can't, I don't know if you can see me adding the blue here, but immediately it's actually come a bit to life adding that blue. It's just a wash of blue and it's not a very strong blue at all. Adding a bit of blue at the top. It infers the sky really nicely, even though you can't see the sky in this image. Adding a bit of blue to the horns I think is really quite brings them out. Right, now the bottom of this horn is really quite dark with a bit of yellow ochre. So let me do that. It's not enough yellow ochre. So the way I paint, it doesn't have to be true to the colour that you see on the image. It's more of a, I paint what I want to see, not or what I feel that would look nice in the eye, rather than what the actual image is showing me. I don't see the need to paint what you see exactly, otherwise I'll be just taking a photo. Some pretty heavy yellow ochre colours here. To infer this colour down here. So even though the horns, I think they're fairly different colours, to be honest, I'm still inferring the colour from one side to the other, just to make sure it doesn't look totally out of place. And in that respect, I'm going to do the same with the other one. I'm going to take the same colour I used over here and just overlay it a little bit. That's the wrong colour, but I think it was just pure yellow ochre, wasn't it? Yeah, that's better. Okay. It didn't go as well as I hoped. Just blend it into the wet paint. So that's the rough sort of start of the horns. I'll obviously finish out with the detail later on. Not totally sure if I want to carry on with this today. Sort of. Been streaming about 2 hours. I've had a few technical issues and I'm getting a bit sort of worn out now. So I might just sort of continue. I might continue. Thanks, Noxstar. That yeah, I know they look sus. They're gonna look a bit interesting. To be fair, they're supposed to be a bit darker. Oh, that's a bit too dark. Hopefully this makes it better, not worse. Probably need to actually go in a bit of a bit finer to make them look a little bit closer, a little bit better. Get a bit of detail on there. They still look a bit weird. I think it'll look a lot better once the actual face is filled in. As I say, I'm sort of not losing interest, but losing stamina, I guess, for tonight. So this will obviously get there. I mean, this is going to be a 8 to 10 hour long painting. I spent 2 hours on it so far, probably less than that actually. So yeah, I'll get there eventually. So yeah, I think I'm going to finish there just because I'm a bit tired. Obviously, all this needs detailing, and the rest of it needs detailing. So I think I'll just finish there, and then yeah, maybe I'll carry on probably Wednesday evening. So cool. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And thanks for all the subscriptions as well. I've got a few subscriptions tonight, so thank you. I shall see you on Wednesday.